Saudi government's actions against Islamic heritage and its hidden agenda. Recently, the Saudi government demolished the house of Hazrat Khadija and built toilets in its place. Interestingly, there was no real need for toilets in that location. This isn't an isolated incident. Over the past few years, Saudi Arabia has destroyed many sites from the Prophet Muhammad's era, including mosques. Ali Al-Ahmed from the Institute for Gulf Affairs in Washington, D.C., states that the Saudi government is deliberately erasing Islamic history. 6 mosques in Medina, where the Prophet Muhammad prayed, have been locked. Additionally, a fence has been put up around Mount Uhud, where the Prophet was taken after being wounded in battle. A sign on the fence falsely claims that it is just an ordinary mountain. A recently published 61-page report in the Saudi Arabia Journal of the Royal Presidency even proposed removing the Prophet Muhammad's tomb from Masjid al-Nabawi. Signs near the tomb misleadingly state that it is not the Prophet's grave. Since 1985, the Saudi government has destroyed 95% of religious and historical sites. This trend of destruction dates back centuries. In 1801, Abdul Aziz ibn Saud attacked the holy Shia sites of Karbala and Najaf, where Imam Hussein, A.S., was martyred. He demolished Imam Hussein's shrine and massacred many Shia Muslims. But why is the Saudi government so determined to destroy these sacred places? The reason lies in their strict Wahhabi ideology. Wahhabis believe that visiting religious sites or graves leads to shirk, polytheism. However, just because one sect holds this belief doesn't mean that everyone else must follow it. Even from a historical perspective, these sites are invaluable. Destroying Hazrat Khadija's house to build toilets is nothing short of an insult. Saudi Arabia's shift towards Western culture. At the beginning of 2023, Saudi Arabia introduced new rules banning mosque donations and prohibiting children from praying in mosques. Loudspeaker volumes in mosques have also been restricted. Meanwhile, the Saudi government actively promotes music concerts by inviting artists from around the world. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman claims he is leading Saudi Arabia toward moderate Islam, even stating that the Middle East will be the new Europe. This makes it clear that he aims to replace Islamic traditions with European culture. But why this sudden shift? The answer is Saudi Arabia's declining economy. The Economic Crisis and Vision, 2030. Saudi Arabia's economy is heavily dependent on oil, with 87% of its profits coming from oil exports. In 2022 alone, Saudi Aramco, the state-owned oil company, generated $535 billion in profit, almost twice the GDP of some nations. However, things are changing. The world is moving towards renewable energy due to climate change. Governments are promoting electric cars by lowering taxes, reducing reliance on oil. Moreover, countries no longer want to depend on oil-producing nations like Saudi Arabia, which often manipulate supply to increase prices. Saudi Arabia knows that it cannot rely on oil forever. Their oil reserves will last only about 60 more years. This is why Mohammed bin Salman is shifting the economy towards tourism, sports, and other sectors. In 2016, Saudi Arabia introduced Vision 2030, unveiling ambitious projects, the most famous being NEOM. When NEOM's videos were released, the world was shocked. It looked like a futuristic city. The most hyped project was The Line, a 170-kilometer-long and 200-meter-wide linear city covered in glass, where everything would be within walking distance. Other major projects included Oxagon, claimed to be 33 times bigger than New York City, aiming to be the world's trade hub. Trojena, a luxury mountain resort featuring hotels, stores, and restaurants. Saudi Arabia claimed NEOM would create 380,000 jobs and boost GDP by 6.3%. However, recent satellite images reveal that progress has been minimal. Only excavation has begun. Experts believe NEOM is mainly a foreign investment trap, since many of its claims seem unrealistic. For example, Saudi Arabia claims that NEOM will be food self-sufficient, but the country imports 80% of its food. They also promise 50% renewable energy by 2030. But in 2019, only 0.05% of their electricity came from renewables. Human rights violations and oppression. Neom's construction has displaced the Huaytat tribe, forcing them out of their ancestral lands. When one tribe member, Abdul Rahim al-Huwaiti, spoke out against it in an April 2020 video, Saudi security forces shot him dead a few days later. This is not an isolated case. The Saudi government has a history of oppressing dissenters. In 2022, Saudi Arabia executed 81 people in a single day without a fair trial. 41 Shia Muslims were also executed without due process. In 2018, Saudi agents murdered journalist Jamal Khashoggi, dismembering his body. According to the New York Times, the murder was ordered by Mohammed bin Salman himself. Due to these human rights violations, foreign investments in Saudi Arabia have declined. To fix its reputation, Saudi Arabia is now using sports washing, a strategy where countries invest in sports to improve their global image. Saudi Arabia has recently bought major sports leagues, including international golf competitions, Formula One racing Newcastle United Football Club. Russia, China, and Qatar have used the same strategy to improve their global reputation. Mohammed bin Salman defends this move, saying, "If sports washing increases my GDP by 1%, I will continue doing it." Saudi Arabia. Following Dubai's model. Saudi Arabia is now copying Dubai's economic model. In the 1990s, Dubai realized it couldn't depend on oil forever, so it diversified its economy into tourism, business, and technology. Today, only 1% of Dubai's economy depends on oil. To attract tourism, Mohammed bin Salman is changing Islamic rules. Alcohol in cinemas were previously banned, but these restrictions are slowly being lifted. It wouldn't be surprising if Saudi Arabia fully legalizes alcohol and other entertainment soon. Saudi-Israel relations and U.S. influence. Saudi Arabia is also improving relations with Israel under pressure from the United States. If it weren't for the Israel-Palestine conflict, Saudi Arabia and Israel might have already normalized ties. Despite Israel's atrocities in Palestine, Saudi Arabia has taken no major action against them. However, there was a time when Saudi leaders stood against Israel. In 1973, King Faisal led an oil embargo against countries supporting Israel, including the U.S. Today, Saudi Arabia is moving away from the Islam that made it powerful. The Prophet Muhammad once said, "Near the end of times, Arab shepherds will build tall buildings." And today, the world's tallest building is in Saudi Arabia. The Arab world may have everything now, but their downfall is near. One day, the Prophet Muhammad awoke and said, "Destruction is coming to the Arabs from a great evil that has come close to them." Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. See you in the next video. Take care and stay awesome.